This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. In this Azure, one second. Okay. Good morning, friends. In this Business Intelligence Master Program, this is our 42nd session. In this session, we are going to see how to implement Nested ForEach pipeline. Okay. So basically, Nested ForEach is possible in Azure Data Factory or not. We discussed this. Nested ForEach is possible or not in Azure Data Factory. Anybody remember? Inside for, can we use another for each?
Directly it is not possible, Malaya.
Yes. So directly it is not possible. So we need to implement a master and a child. There are two pipelines implement. Then we need to call the child pipeline from the master pipeline. Okay, that is what we are going to see. Okay. So, but we will see how to implement this nested for each pipeline. Okay. Next, append date to all files in storage using master child pipeline relation. So what I wanted to do, maybe just to consider you have a storage. In storage you have multiple files, multiple folders. Okay, you need to read one by one folder. Okay, inside folders you also need to read one by one file. Okay, first I'm going to say I have a, okay, I will discuss all those things in detail with some visuals so that it will be easy for you to understand. But ultimately today we are going to see child and pipeline relationship, how you can establish, and then we are going to see this nested for each pipeline, how you can use with the help of master child pipeline. Okay, fine. So in today's session we will learn about scenarios, data flow diagram, estimations, prerequisite and required resources, all these things. Demo is we will create data lake storage gen 2, then we will create data factory v2, we will create a linked service for data lake storage gen 2 with keywords using integration runtime. Then I'm going to create, okay, create source data reference, create sync data reference, create pipeline, debug pipeline, and we are going to run pipeline with schedule trigger, then monitor pipeline. Okay, what I wanted to do, I want to monitor the pipeline. This is what I wanted to do. Fine. Now, scenarios. How to copy data from ADF Gen 2 raw folder to refined folder. So what I'm trying to do, I have a folders. I have actually folders. Inside raw folder, I have a subfolders like customer, employee, transactions. There are different folders. Inside those folders, I have CSV files. These folders, inside I have a CSV files. What I need to do first, I have a multiple folders. I need to read all these multiple folders. Then I need to go to each folder inside and I need to read each file. Okay, the files which I have in each folder, I need to read all the files and I need to append date to each and every file. Okay, that is what our requirement. Next, how to pass parameters from master pipeline to child pipelines. So you are calling the another pipeline from the master pipeline. Maybe you are calling child pipeline from master pipeline. You need to pass some parameters to your child pipeline. How you can pass, we are going to talk about those things today. Then we will see how to call one pipeline from another pipeline. That is nothing but the same. Maybe whether it is from master pipeline. See, you don't have any relation between two pipelines, but you can call the one pipeline from another pipeline by using which activity? Execute pipeline activity. Next, ADF won't support nested for each, but how to achieve it? Okay, so that is what we are going to see. In today's session, we are going to talk about get metadata activity, for each activity, execute pipeline activity, and the copy activity. Okay, so these are the activities we are going to discuss today. Fine. So data lake storage gen 2. Let's imagine in data lake storage gen 2, I have a raw layer. Okay, we talked about what is data lake storage gen 2, all those things. So as per today requirement, in data lake storage gen 2 raw, you have a raw folder. This is the root folder. Just imagine. Inside that, I have a cust subfolder, emp cust subfolder, transaction subfolder. Under cust subfolder, I have these three files. Cust 1, cust 2, cust 3. Under emp, you have these two files, emp1, emp2. Under transactions, I have two files, transaction1.csv, transaction2.csv. all these files, what I wanted to do, you understood now. You have a raw is a root folder. Under raw folder, you have cust emp transaction folder. Under these folders, under each folder, you have a respective files. Now all these files, I want to move it into a refined layer. Okay, you have a refined layer here. You can see it's a refined layer. In this, I have a cust. So cust one, I am moving to cust one 2020 12/14 because this is the today date. Cust 2 2020 12/14. This is the today date. Cust 3 2020 12/14. This is the today date. Okay. Next EMP. When it comes to EMP, EMP1 2020 12/14. EMP2 2020 12/14 because today date and date I am just appending to this each and every file. You see. Okay. So these are the two files we have under EMP. These are the two files I have in transaction. So I'm just moving all these files from raw to refined. You got it, friends, what we are trying to achieve today? Fine. So you may think I am going to maintain some metadata table. No, I am not going to maintain any metadata table. Okay, so we discussed how you can implement a pipeline with metadata driven. So based on metadata, how you can implement. So since last few days, we are seeing without metadata, with the help of activity itself, I am getting all the required information, right? So now I will just ask you one thing. You need to tell me what activity you will use for that. Okay, what I want to do, I want to get all the folders which I have under raw folder. What activity you will use, how you will configure that. Tell me, friends, I'm waiting for your answer. I want
metadata.
all the, very good, get metadata activity. Under that, what you will enable?
Tail items.
Very good. So, please be in mute, friends. Rest of the people. Sudhir is talking. Okay, rest of the people, please be in mute. Okay, if you would like to talk, you can talk. Okay, fine. Under raw folder, if I want to get the list of folders, I am getting the list of folders by using child items property inside get metadata activity. So now you got cust emp transaction. Okay. Now you want to iterate through one by one folder to read each and every file one by one file. What you will do? What activity you will use after get metadata? From our learning, you need to tell me, friends, what activity you will use after.
ForEach.
Very good. So for each you will use. Now by using for each, what you are doing? You are just passing. See, for each, you are passing cust, you are passing EMP, you are passing transaction. We have three folder information given to the for each. Now this for each should pass each folder information to inside for each. You are going to use another get metadata activity. Okay, so let me explain you. Now you are in the correct track. Okay, you will be able to understand. See, this won't work in ADF, but we need to implement something like this. So whatever you said, correct, get metadata, what it will do, extract folders list from raw folder. So it is going to get all the information like cust, EMP and transactions, all the folders. You'll get something like this, name type. It's a folder. This get metadata, I need to pass it to the for each. Okay, so how you will pass it? At the rate activity of get metadata dot output dot child items. So then all this cust, EMP, everything will be given to the for each. Inside for each, I will use another get metadata to extract file list from folder. So what you are doing? First, this for each is going to give cust folder. Now this time, if I want to get all the files inside cust folder, what I need to do? I need to select this folder in the data set. Then I need to again enable the child items. This time I'm going to get the files. Okay, so those files I will pass it to the for each. What for each is going to do? For each is going to copy these files one by one, and when it is copying, it is going to append the date. But here we have a challenge. The challenge is inside this for each we cannot use the another for each. That is the problem. Okay, we can, if it is working, then we can do something, copy activity will append dates to all files. Okay, that's okay, this will work. But our challenge is I'm going to pass a folder to this get metadata activity. This get metadata activity, what it will do, whatever folder you are passing, under that particular folder, whatever files we have, entire file list it will give. Entire file list it will give. take all this file list, pass it to the ForEach. What you are going to do, one by one file you are going to pass it to the inside activities. Okay, so you understood this has given all the folder information. You have passed all folder information to ForEach. This ForEach is going to pass one by one folder information. This get metadata will read all the files which we have under that particular folder. Then it will just start copying one by one file here. Let's imagine you have a cust and EMP folder. Now you have all the cust EMP transaction. First you have given cust folder. Under cust folder you have cust1.csv, cust2.csv, cust3.csv. You have 3 files. I have passed all those 3 files to the ForEach. Now ForEach will give one by one file to the copy activity. Copy activity will copy one by one file. When it is copying one by one file, it is going to append the date. If you're going to do bulk, it is not possible for us to append the date. We need to iterate through each file, then only we can able to append. Understood? But this won't work because ForEach, okay, like in nested ForEach will not support. Okay, inside ForEach, another ForEach will not work. Okay, won't work in ADF. Now, how to implement such kind of requirement? Okay, let's move on. Let's say you have master pipeline, which is going to have a get metadata activity. This is exactly going to do same. Extract folder list from raw folder. Okay, raw folder, we have seen raw folder. What folders we have under raw folder? EMP, cust, transaction. Okay, get metadata. Now you see, when you ask child items, it is going to give cust, EMP. These are the folders. These folders list I will pass it to the ForEach. Okay, child items. Next I will use something called execute pipeline activity. I will use execute pipeline activities. I'm not sure how many of you remember we have used this execute pipeline activity in our execute pipeline activity in multiple sessions, and in few sessions we also have seen passing parameters to your another pipeline, whatever pipeline you are calling. Example, I'm calling another pipeline. Okay, I'm calling another pipeline. Let's say execute pipeline activity will call child pipelines. So this particular thing is going to call the child pipeline. Now my question is, how many times this particular activity will execute inside ForEach when I have 3 folders? Here it is showing 2, but actually let's imagine I have 3 folders. I have given 3 folder information to this ForEach. This ForEach, inside I have a execute pipeline activity. Can you tell me how many times this execute pipeline activity will execute?
If 3 folders is there, 3 times it will execute.
Very good. So it is going to execute 3 times. That you understood, right? So first time this execute pipeline is going to execute. When it is executing, when I am calling another pipeline, I also want to pass cust folder. Let's say I want to read files from the cust folder. That's why I will pass first time when I am calling the pipeline, I will pass cust folder. Next time I will pass the EMP folder. Next time I will pass the transaction folder. Till here everybody is clear. Till here everybody is clear.
Yes, Malaya.
Yeah, yes, Malaya.
Right. Now you just pass this particular one by one. Let's say I am calling this execute pipeline first time with cust folder. Okay, cust folder. So you have a child pipeline. You are calling this pipeline from execute pipeline. When this is called, inside this you'll have a get metadata activity. What this get metadata activity will do? Whatever value you have passed, that is cust folder information we have passed to this child pipeline. It will take that cust folder. So it will do what it will do: extract file list from the folder. What folder you have passed? Cust folder. Inside cust folder, let's imagine we have 3 files. So now get metadata child items, if I enable, it is going to give me all the files information: cust1.csv, cust2.csv, cust3.csv. Like that, it is going to give some 3 items. After this get metadata, I can use the ForEach now. So when I am passing to this ForEach, this time I will use something like this again: activity.getMetadata.output.child items. So child items means this time files cust1.csv, cust2.csv will be given to the ForEach. Inside ForEach, I will use copy activity. which is going to take these files one by one. First it will take first1.csv, next it will take first2.csv. It will take one by one file. These files will be copied. Okay, copy activity will append dates to all files. So it is going to read one by one file. It will append the date to each file, and finally these files will be loaded into the refined layer. From raw layer, we are going to load all these files with appended date. We are going to load it into the raw folder. Is it clear? Everything is clear. Now this is first time you will execute for the cust folder. Next time you will execute for the emp table. Next emp folder. Next time you will execute for the transaction folder. Something like that. You are going to execute one by one. Now this child item, how many times will execute, friends? Child items, how many times will execute?
Based on the number of files present in each folder.
No. I am talking about entire execute pipeline will execute based on the number of folders, not files. Okay. So if you have three folders,
pipeline. Okay, pipeline. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. So this ForEach will iterate based on the number of files in each folder. So in cust folder, when you consider in
I'm
cust folder,
talking about sorry for that.
Yeah, I understood. Okay, that's okay. You understood the concept. That's okay. Fine. Okay. Remaining things, copy data from ADLS Gen 2 to ADLS Gen 2. How we will do? Have ADLS Gen 2, you have a folder, input folder. Inside that, if you have a emp.csv or cust.csv, we just pass all those. Like I want to move it into the output folder. First, you will create a linked service to data lake storage Gen 2, and you will create input dataset which reference to this input folder. Then you will create the copy activity. You will use copy activity, and you will create output dataset which points to your output folder. But if you want to connect to the output folder, you can use same linked service. You don't need to create a multiple linked services. With the same storage, you can use same linked service. Okay. When you execute this, you will see all these files will be moved to the output folder. Who is going to do all these things? Azure integration runtime. But as we discussed, we can also do self-hosted integration runtime. We can use self-hosted integration runtime. Then you have a Azure Data Factory. You have a Azure Data Factory. Okay, which is going to manage all these things. Estimations, how many linked services we need. So I'm going to use only one storage, that is data lake storage. So I can have a one linked service. How many data sets? It depends on the reference points. We need to create data sets. For input container, one data set. For output container, one data set. Total two data sets are needed to create for copy activity. Okay, if you want to use copy activity, we need at least two data sets. One is for input folder, one is for the output container. Okay, example I'm giving. How many copy activities we are going to use? One copy activity. I will use to copy data from ADLS Gen 2 to ADLS Gen 2. But if you are using copy activity inside ForEach, so based on the ForEach received, okay, let's say ForEach has received 3 items, copy activity will execute 3 times, because ForEach will call copy activity 3 times with a different values. One pipeline I will use. What type of IR we are going to use? Azure integration runtime. Prerequisite, we know data lake storage, keywords, Azure data factory, schedule, trigger, integration runtime, service, dataset activity, and pipeline. All these things we are aware. Now required resources. What is data lake storage into okay, Azure Key Vault, data factory. Okay, these are the 3 resources we need. Data lake storage Gen 2, Azure Key Vault, Azure data factory V2. So these are the 3 resources we need. Let's go and do the demo now. Okay, I'm here. Let me just create one by one resource. Okay, we need only 3 resources today. First, data lake storage Gen 2. Let's go to storage account. Let's click add to create the data lake storage Gen 2. Okay, resource group. Let me just create a resource group. Click create new. Cloud Pandit BA master program. Click OK. Storage account name Cloud Pandit ADLS Gen 2. Or you can say ADLS V2 1214. Today date, if you use it, will be a unique. Okay, just click networking. All these things leave as this. and come down to the advanced, you need to enable the hierarchical namespace. Okay, just click review plus create. Then create it. Now come here. Portal.azure.com. So we created the data lake storage gen 2. Let's create now Azure Data Factory. Click on data factories. Click add to create the data factory. Okay, resource group, you can see here Cloud Panel VI master program, and data factory name I will create Cloud Panel VI ADF V2 1214. Click git configuration. I will configure it later. Click review plus create. Running final validation. Click create. Okay, it is created. Now come here. Portal.azure.com. Let's create our final service that we need is Azure keyword. Okay, this is also deployed. Let's click on keywords to create the Azure keyword. Click add keywords. So this is free type, and a resource group is the resource group. Keyword name, you can say Cloud Panel AKV 1214. Go to access policies. Let's add our Azure Data Factory. You know, right, how to add. So let's say our data factory is Cloud Panel BI area V2 1214. Okay, let's come back. Go to import to see the data factory name. This is the data factory name, Cloud Panel BI area V2, correct only. Cloud Panel BI area V2 12. One second. Just to click on selected once again. Okay, just select this, click select, then come down, click add. Click review plus create. So it is going to do running final validation. Once validation passed, we can able to create it. Okay. Let's click create. Okay, now we have created everything. Come back to the storage. Click on go to resource. First thing that we need to do is we need to take the access case and the data factory data lake storage gen 2 key. I will store it in a my Azure keyword. Okay. Okay, so I'm just taking this key, this particular key, I will store it in a my Azure keyword. Okay, so it will be available soon. Let's wait. Okay. Click on go to resource. Click on secrets. You can see it's a ADLS. ADLS key. Let's paste that key here. Click create. Okay, come back to here. Go to overview. Come down. Click on containers. Click on container. This is a raw. Okay, a raw folder. Okay, next. So refined folder, all those things I am not going to create. Everything will be created from Azure Data Factory. Okay, just go inside raw. So here I want to create a different subfolders. Let's say custom. Next. I want to create a EMP. Next, you can say something transaction. Okay, fine. These all you have. Just go inside cast. Go inside cast. Let's upload the customer files. Load money data sets. Okay, let's say I will just upload 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's upload 4 files in this. Okay. Inside this custom folder, I uploaded 4 files. Come back, click on EMP, go inside EMP, select this EMP. Let me just mark it as a EMP1.csv. Select this EMP1, first upload it. Okay. Yeah, let it be only one file in EMP. Come back, go into transactions. Let's upload some transaction files. Okay. Come back. Okay, I have Cloud Connect, Cast, some other files. What I will do, I will just mark all these things as a transaction files. Cast file also. What kind of data we have inside doesn't matter to us, right? So we'll just upload this to transaction 1, transaction 2. Okay. Now you know how many files we have under custom folder? 4. Okay. So let me just take all of these. Under custom folder we have 4 files. Under EMP we have 1 file. Under transactions we have two files. Okay, remember. Now come back. Okay, everything is fine. We have uploaded, everything is fine. Come back to the storage and see here we have a raw. And I want to create the refined, everything refined subfolders. Same structure should be created even in the refined folder. And inside that, the same file should be placed, but those files we need to place with a date appended. Okay, date appended. Let's see that. Okay, now come back here. Okay, this is the data factory. Go to overview. Click on go to resource. Click author and monitor. Okay, let's go to manage tab. Let's click new link service. Here you need to use Gen2, right? Just search for Gen2. Before Gen2, yeah, at a time you can create anyhow. Today only one storage, right? Like what you can do, ls for udls Gen2. So account key, yes, account key. I will enter the storage account name. I will get it from the Azure keyword. Okay, all these things let it be. First, let's form the URL. So to form URL, we need to get storage name. Okay, come to storage. This is our storage. Take this storage. Friends, please, like when you are joining, give your names properly. Okay, so all the names are not correct. Somebody joined with caller 01. Can you rename quickly? I want to see who is it. Check all your names, friends, how you have joined once. See, if you are joining with some other name, I will not be able to identify. I will just dismiss you immediately. Okay. So that's fine. I just dismissed. Okay. https:// this is the storage.dfs.core.windows.net/ okay. Next, select linked service. How to create linked service? Click new. This is a ls for Azure keyword. Subscription, you can use this, and the Azure keyword name is this. Let's test the connection to your Azure keyword first. Create it. Then you see this is your URL. This is the keyword name, secret name, ADLS key, right? So let's check what is the key we have used. ADLS key. Test connection now. Connection successful. You can create it. Just to publish all. Click publish. Now come to author tab. Let's click here. Click pipeline. Okay, in this pipeline, this is basically, let's say this is our master. First, I will use get metadata activity. You see, I am just going to use a get metadata activity. Just use get metadata activity. This get metadata is going to, okay, this is our first get metadata. Okay, just without space, you give get metadata 1. That's okay. Data set. This data set for what? Which storage? Gen 2. Okay, what this data set should do? This data set should find the folders basically. So you cannot specify folders for some format, right? And randomly you can select some file format. Here you need to give the data set. Okay, DS for ADLS Gen 2. Okay, this is basically folders, to get the folders. Okay, this data set is going to get the folders, right? To use the linked service, then just select this. So just to select raw, inside this raw folder, whatever folders I have, that particular list I want to get. First row is added, whether you are checking, whether you are not checking, doesn't matter here, because we are not reading a files, we are reading folders. Okay, that is okay. If you want to check, you can check, otherwise it can be ignored. Okay, now what is important is we need to enable here child items. Okay, let's enable here child items. Then let's debug it. So it is succeeded. Click on this. See child items, name, cust, name, EMP, name, transaction. Okay, just to take these child items. Just paste it here. Okay, child items, name equal to cust, type equal to folder, all these things. Okay, now this is the child item. So this child item under what? The output, under output we have a child items, right? So under output we have a child items. So you need to say @get metadata activity dot output dot child items. Then all these items will be passed to the for each activity. Okay, fine. Now let's pass that for each. Bring the for each. Pass this get metadata output to the for each. Okay, for each folder. So it is going to work on for each folder. So sequential, let's go with sequential. Add dynamic content. How to get this dynamic content? At the rate activate of get metadata one dot output dot child items. Okay, you can copy paste this if you want. Okay, copy and paste this one. Click OK. That's all. Now all this folder information, not only the this folder but name of the folder, but type is whether it is a file or folder. It's a folder, so that also will be passed. After that we need to select if you want to get only cust in this entire item. If you want to read only cust, what you need to do, at the rate item dot name. If you want to get this folder, at the rate item dot type. Okay, that you know. Go inside for each. So I want to go inside for each and read one by one. So like what I want to do now, I want to use a get metadata. Let's use get metadata. If you want to use here get metadata, you can use. Okay, after using get metadata, if you want to use for each, you see, are you seeing any for each here? No, it will not work. That's why what I wanted to do, I want to leave this particular pipeline here itself. But can you tell me, let's say I will just use here, go to general. I'm just using execute pipeline active. Pipeline here. When I select the pipeline here, like what happens is that particular pipeline, if required any parameters, those parameters will be shown here. But can you tell me what is the value we need to pass it to this activity? Okay, so in another way I can put the question. So what for each can give as like items? What kind of items for each can give?
In each table, it will give all records one by. Just confused.
One by so one by one folder we need to pass as a input to this child pipeline. Okay, let's create a child pipeline here.
Yes.
See, I will use all of those things later, but you just create a pipeline. Here you open a pipeline. Okay, this pipeline is pipeline parameter for folder name. Pipeline parameter for folder name, pp folder name. Okay, okay. So one more thing I need to change is here child pipeline. Say child underscore pipeline. Child underscore pipeline. Okay, this is a pipeline parameter folder name. You just come back to master pipeline. You try to select the child pipeline which you have created. See, when you select it, immediately it is asking pp folder name, you need to pass it. Okay, pp folder name you need to pass it. But how you will pass it? Click add dynamic content. Here I will just directly say this for each folder dot name. You understood? Because this execute pipeline activity I'm using inside for each. You see, if I click on this, this is a like pipeline canvas. If you click on this particular activity, you will see here, this is a execute pipeline properties. This execute pipeline properties having a like pipeline parameter called pp folder name. If you want to call child pipeline, you need to pass this parameter. Okay, pipeline parameter called folder name. That folder name I am passing something like this at the rate item dot name, at the rate item dot name. So at the rate item dot name, why I am using, because in all these items I just have to pass in this item cust name, in this item name, meaning I want to pass only EMP. In this item I just want to pass transaction name, right? So likewise one by one, if you want to pass, you need to use at the rate item dot name. Okay, now come to child pipeline. So I received the value for this particular parameter. What is the name I have received first time? Cust is the folder I have received. Next time what I have received? Next time I'm going to receive something called, you can say EMP. Next you will receive something called transaction. One by one folder name you will get it, right? So now in this you use the get metadata activity again. Okay. So this is, let's say this is get metadata activity 2. Come to data set. So this data set which is going to point to the data lake storage gen 2, let's create a new data set. So let's imagine it's basically for the CSV files. DS for ABLS gen 2. Okay, DS for ADLS gen 2 file list. It is going to give file list. Select the existing linked service. First as header. You just do, whether you are doing or not doing doesn't matter, because here just you are reading the, like you are just getting the list of files, right? So here I will just select raw folder. You understand? I just selected raw folder, but subfolder name like cust folder, one by one I need to pass it dynamically. Click OK. Now if you enable child items and if you execute this, what you will get? You won't get anything. Okay, so the reason is, what you will get means you will get again same thing, cust folder, emp folder, all those things. But what I want to do is, inside cust folder, what is the files list I have, that I need to do. Go to file list data set, create a parameter. This is a data set parameters for file name, ds for file name, a data set parameter for file name. Okay, that file names, okay, that, one second, ds for folder name. This is basically folder name, right? So data set folder name I need to select here. Under raw, I need to select one by one folder. First time I will pass cust folder. Okay, here. Next time I will pass EMP folder. Next time I will pass transaction folder, one by one folder. How you will pass it? Go to child pipeline. Here it is waiting to receive the value. But already we received the folder information one by one. How? By using child pipeline parameter, PP folder name we have. By using this, we need to pass this particular name to this dataset parameter. Come down, PP folder. Okay, pipeline folder name I am passing to the dataset parameter. Let's come back. So this pipeline folder name, how this child pipeline will get this PP folder name, pipeline parameter folder name will get actual folder.
Not able to hear you, Malaya.
This is a transaction, something like that, one by one. Okay, when it has passed cust, when it has passed, okay, sorry friends. Now you see @pipeline.parameters.pp folder name. Can you tell me PP folder name? How PP folder name will get the value? PP folder name will get the value from the master pipeline. You see, go to master pipeline again, execute pipeline, see item.name. First time this for each will pass cust. Next it will pass EMP. Next it will pass transaction. One by one folder name we are assigning to the PP folder name. This PP folder name, first time cust. If it is a cust, I am assigning cust to DS folder name. This DS parameter, a data set parameter I am using here. Now what happens? raw/cust, raw/emp, raw/transaction. That's how the folder will create in this data set. When it is created, in that each folder, what are the file list I have? I want to get. For that, again you need to use a child item. Again you need to use a child item. Now here I will use the ForEach. Here I will use the ForEach. Just to bring the ForEach. Okay, so this is the, for each file I need to iterate. For each file I need to iterate. Come here, sequential. Okay, how you will pass this file list? Again, same thing. It's a child items. Okay, so that's why you need to say child items. Okay, click OK. So this time, whatever child items this for each is getting, what are those child items? Are those files or those folders?
Files, sir.
Files or folders, friends?
Files.
Files.
Files. Okay, files. So all the file list you will get it here. that files one by one for each will give it to the copy activity. Inside copy activity, it's basically a copy data from ADLS into raw to refined layer. Okay. Now come to source, click on new data set here, blob storage, data lake storage into. So don't confuse, little confusing, but don't do it. Okay, CSV files. We have a input CSV files. This is the data set for source DS ADLS Gen2 source. Use this linker service. First as header. So for like file system name, what is the file system name? You can just use raw. And in this custom folder, okay, folder name, file names will come dynamically. Okay, for this source data set, folder name and file name will come dynamically. Can you tell me directory how we will get? Okay, how we will pass the directory? From where we got this directory name?
From master pipeline.
Very good. From master pipeline, we got the directory name. First, master pipeline will pass custom folder. That custom folder we are passing to the child pipeline. So I need to put that custom folder here. Then I need to iterate through one by one file. Under custom folder, whatever files I have, that file list also received by my ForEach, which is there here. Inside this, whatever ForEach we are using here, right? That ForEach is received all the file list which we have under custom folder. Okay. That's what I need to do. Now I need to create a two data set parameters. Okay, see, it will be easy only now. You just click on this source data set. You created two parameters. Okay, one is for this is the DS folder name. This is a DS file name. Okay, come back to collection. So here you need to pass the folder name, data set folder name. You need to pass it here. Here you need to pass the data set file name. Data set file. That's okay. Now come back to the child pipeline. You see these are waiting. DS folder name. Folder name how we will pass? Already we have a PP folder name. Pipeline parameter. This is received already folder name. Same folder name I will pass it to this. DS file name. How you will pass? Exactly same. Item dot. So this for each file, right? Item dot name. Because this particular folder is fixed custom folder, then these file names will iterate one by one. How these file names how you know these file names? These file names is extracted by this get metadata activity, and all that file list given to this ForEach. This ForEach will give one by one file to this source data set. Okay, in the same way I need to go to sync. Okay, I need to go to sync, and I need to use what same. Just click new, select data lake storage into, continue as a CSV files, continue. This is a TS4 ATLS Gen2. It's a sync. Okay. Use this linker service. First as header, this should be not a raw layer, this should be refined layer, because I want to load data into refined layer. But inside refined layer, folder is same, right? If you are reading files from cust, here also folder should be cust. If you are reading files from the EMP, then folder name should be EMP. File names I will modify, that I will tell you. Click OK. Go to so you don't have this refined folder, so you cannot import schema. Click none, click OK. Now come to sync. Here go to parameters again. Let's open two parameters. These are again dataset folder name, DS file. Again same, right? Come here. I need to use the folder name here. File name I need to use here, but this file name I should not use directly. DS file name. What I need to do, I need to append the date to each and every file. For that, what we need to do, we need to use something like this. A replace. I want to replace. Okay. What I want to replace is in this file, in this files, I will have a something called .csv. I will have a .csv. Instead of .csv, I will just see, you can hard code it, but we never hard code it, right? Mostly what we have done is we are generating all these things through like, let's say, I will just explain it in the beginning. See what I will do. I want to replace. See, first thing, how the files will come, friends. Let me tell you. Files will come something like this, right? cust1.csv. Okay. In this, basically, first what I want to do, I want to replace cust1.csv. I want to replace .csv to nothing. Okay, this is what I want to do first. You understood? When I execute something like this, replace this cust1.csv, this should be in a double quotes, but this will come dynamically. This cust1.csv, in this .csv I will replace with nothing. Then what is our output? It will be only cust1. Okay. So after cust1, I want to use, otherwise you can use something like this, cust_.csv. Instead of .csv, I will use underscore. Then my output will be cust1 underscore. Okay. After that, for this result, I want to concatenate, concat. So this particular function I will use. When I use this particular function here, your first argument is what, friends? Your first value will get here cust1 underscore. If you are passing cust2.csv, here you will get cust2 underscore. Here if you are passing cust3.csv, here you will get cust3 underscore. For that, I need to add here format date. You will have here something like, you can see format datetime. You have a format datetime, right? So you need to use format datetime. This function will generate a UTC now. Current UTC time it will generate, and in that UTC it should take YYY MMDD. Okay, so first I want to concat this one cust1 underscore. Then I will append today date in which format? Year, month, and day, comma. Finally, I want to append .csv. Okay, let me explain once again. This one, see, cust1.csv is my first file name I am passing. Cust.csv. In this, I am replacing .csv with underscore, meaning this entire thing I am removing. Instead of that, I am putting underscore. So that's why your final result will be cust1 underscore. So when you use that particular function here, you will get here what? Yeah. So let me just put it here. So when you use concat of days, you are going to form something like this, concat of, okay, cust1 underscore you will get. Next. So when you use format datetime UTC now YYYDD MMDD, so you go here and check what is the current UTC date and time. Current UTC date. So current UTC date is December 14. So meaning same date it will give. Okay, meaning come back, sorry. So what it will give? It will give something like this. It will give 2020 December month, right? So 12. Date is 14. You can see in UTC also it is December 14. Okay. Now it will give 2020 12 14. Okay. After that, finally I am saying .csv. It's a hard coded value. Okay. But this is a date. Okay. For this, when it is concatenate, what concat function will do, if you know any language, if you're working, you know, right? Concat will add all these things. 2020 12 14 .csv. So all these things it will concatenate, and finally you will get a file name something like this. Okay. Now what I need to use here, I need to use exactly this one here. Okay, but in this file name, I'm going to pass it dynamically. File name is not fixed. Every time file name will change. That's why file name I need to pass it, okay, with a DS file. It should be dataset parameter. Okay, see, Here file name will come dynamically. In that file, every file is a .csv. So .csv I'm replacing with underscore. Under that you'll have a year, month, day will be generated. Then I'm going to append the .csv at the last. Okay. So this is how I need to place my file. Now this we have already done it last time. Okay. I'm not sure how many of you remember. Now come back to child pipeline. Sync side, again I need to pass the folder name. But folder name we received from the master pipeline. So same pp folder name we need to pass it here. DS file name. File name is exactly same. For each will give this file name dot name. Click finish. Okay. Okay, that's all about your pipeline. But how many of you clear? Please confirm. Whoever is clear, please ping in chat window. Sudhir is clear. The rest of the people, friends. Pawan is clear.
Clear, sir.
Vinod is clear. Bhargav, Ratnaraj is clear. Nagaraj, Bharat, Manohar, Murli. Okay. Please ping, friends. Ramu, clear. Okay. Nagarjun are clear. Fine. So now what we do is just publish all, because I know it will not have any more changes. Don't worry if you have anything is not clear. When you execute pipeline, there you can able to see the details how it is executing. Then you will come to. Okay. So, but I have created the pipeline exactly with the way how we have discussed this pipeline in our slide. So let me just explain this slide once again. See, in this overview diagram, we talked about master pipeline, which is going to read the folder name. Then it will just get raw folder. If you give inside raw folder, all subfolders list it will give, and all that list I will pass it the for each. So at the rate get metadata dot output dot child items. Okay, all these child items means cust emp are the folders. These folders one by one I will pass to the child pipeline. This child pipeline will have a get metadata activity, so it will read the folder name from master pipeline. Under that folder, whatever files we have, okay, example cust1.csv, cust2.csv, those files it will pass it to the for each. Inside for each, I'm going to use a copy activity to copy these cust1.csv files to the destination. When I'm passing these things to the destination, I'm using this particular function, right? So concat and replace functions we are using to append the current date to these files. Okay, fine. Now, what I wanted to do, you need to execute master pipeline. Master pipeline is going to execute child pipeline. Can you tell me finally how many times child pipeline will execute with current setup, whatever we have created?
3 times, sir.
Okay. Let's execute pipeline. Let's publish up. It should be named clear. Okay, exactly right. So, like your child pipeline is going to execute 3 times, friends. Okay. Let it publish. It will publish quickly. Only one change we made, right? So it will publish. Yeah, it is published. Now you need to execute your master pipeline. Okay. Trigger now. Click OK. Come down to come to monitor tab. Let's see here. Your master pipeline is started. Child pipeline is started. Okay, so let's go inside master pipeline. Still master pipeline is executing, but master pipe first get metadata, what it has received, cust EMP and transactions. All these are the folder information. Out of all this, so this for each received 3 folders. Those folders, it has passed first folder name, that is cust to your child pipeline. Okay, cust to this child pipeline. Let's go back to your child pipeline now. Okay, child pipeline. Let's go inside child pipeline. Even though it is executed, that's okay. Let's go inside child pipeline. Let's see how it has done. So let's see here. So child, like this folder you have given, cust is the folder you have given. Then this get metadata returned all the child items. So cust1.csv, cust2.csv, cust3.csv, meaning cust4.csv. Under that cust folder you have 4 files. It is given all those 4 files. Now this for each will receive 4. Item count is 4 because 4 files we have passed to for each. This for each is going to call this copy activity by passing this folder name which is received by this get metadata, the files which is received by this for each. So how many files we have? 4. 4 files we have given to this for each. That's why this copy activity is executed 4 times. Now let's go to the storage account. Okay, refresh this. You will see the refined layer here. In that refined layer, so you have 3 folders. If you go inside cust, you will see cust1 underscore today date appended dot csv, cust2 today date dot csv, cust3 today date dot csv, cust4 today date dot csv. Come back, go inside emp, see emp1 underscore today date dot csv. Come back, go inside transactions. So transaction 1, transaction 2, and you just have to see your files. Today, like today date dot csv, today date dot csv. Clear? Everything is clear now. Okay. Now what I want to do, I just delete this. I want to run pipeline again with a schedule trigger. I want to create a pipeline with schedule trigger. Otherwise, let's try to use event trigger because we are using as of today schedule trigger, right? That's okay. Even whatever I mentioned in slides doesn't matter. But practicals, we need to practice all those things. So yesterday, day before yesterday, all those things you was talking about schedule trigger. Let's also revise once again our event trigger. Click new/edit. Okay, so but our event trigger, if you want to enable, what we need to do? You remember, we need to go and enable the event grid in the subscription. Okay, let's go to our subscription first. Not here, come here. Let's go to our subscription. Go to subscriptions. 5 more minutes, okay, not more than that. Come down, you will see resource providers. Enable, just search for event grid. See, event grid is not registered. Select it, click register, refresh this. Yeah, it is registering. Let it register. Now come back to the pipeline. So let's create a trigger. This is, let's create event trigger. Okay, so event trigger, let's select event trigger, and from which subscription? This subscription storage account name is same storage which we have created. I want to use under that. So what we will do is, let's say I'm going to create a one more folder in this storage. Go to storage account, same storage. Success folder, something success folder you have. Okay, something success. So if entire process, okay, success, yeah, let it be success folder. This is a success folder or something you can call. Otherwise, let it be just a success. Okay, it is just a success. Okay, this is a success. Come here, you just use the container name is just in this drop down. We will be able to see, because it's not refreshed. We just created, no, that's why it's not refreshed. Just check it once again. Otherwise, just cancel this and come back from the beginning. because it's not refreshed, only that is the reason. Okay, so event trigger subscription is this, storage account name is this, container, just check this drop down, you will see 2 containers, but I want to look for the files which I have in a success. In success file, whenever I see .csv file, whenever I see .csv files, then whenever .csv file is uploaded, whenever .csv file is uploaded, I want to run this master pipeline. Okay, click continue, click continue. So all the other things we discussed, click OK. Now I want to publish all. Click publish. It's not a timing based on the time when we have uploaded the some CSV files into success folder, that time pipeline will run. Okay, fine. Now this should be finished by now. It will not show something like that. Go to resource provider. By now it is already successful, I think. Event grid, check it, it is registered. Okay, we can leave that. Come back. Now everything else is same. Okay, it is publishing, let it publish. Once this is published, in that success folder I will upload some file, then immediately my pipeline should run. Okay, come here, go inside this success, any CSV file you can upload, because we have not specified this kind of CSV file, say CSV file or something, right? So you can upload any file with a .csv extension. Okay, even yeah, you can just take containers info.csv, okay, something, the CSV file. Okay, just click upload. When this is uploaded, let's go to pipeline, go to your monitor tab. So it is started. Which one is started? Trigger one. Which trigger we have created? Event trigger. Okay, that event trigger is started creating this. See, this event trigger call like executed master pipeline. This master pipeline is calling child pipelines. So these child pipelines, what these child pipelines will do? These child pipelines will create the refined layer. Inside of that refined layer, it will start creating the, see inside refined, go inside refine, go inside this cust. You will see cust folders is loaded. Now second pipeline is executing, like for second folder, child pipeline is executing. I think first child pipeline is successful. It is showing is still in progress, but it is already loaded all the way. See, cust folder is finished. Now it has received EMP folder. I think it is running now for EMP folder. Now if you go here and refresh this, you will see EMP folder. As go inside EMP folder, only one file that is also arrived. Now come back, go to data factory, refresh it. Second child pipeline is also succeeded. Third child pipeline is executing. Third child pipeline is nothing but it is going to execute for the transactions folder. Inside transaction folder, how many files we have? 2. Let's refresh this to see transaction folder. Inside this, you can able to see this. Okay, clear? Clear, friends? Okay. That's all for today, friends. Any questions? Let me stop recording. We'll discuss other things.